I've been on 273 first dates. Yes, I've also been in long-term relationships, but I've also been on a shit ton of first dates. And here's the brutal truth about what women want. I've spent so many hours with women that this is undeniable. And the first thing we need to address is there's fact versus fiction, because a lot of people take advice from the wrong people. There's so much misinformation out there, and honest to God, this is the brutal hard truth. 273 first dates later, I can tell you exactly what women want. And what you'll come to find is a lot of what you've been told about women and dating is completely wrong. It's not fact. Because a lot of women give advice and they say things online to create an image that is likable, that they think sounds good, but is not the brutal truth, which is why I exist, The Real Game, to give you the honest truth. Because a lot of what they say, like for example, women will say, we want a nice, caring guy. Now, if you've been on 273 dates, like I have, and you've spent thousands of hours with women, you know this isn't true. You know that a nice, sweet guy makes them feel uncomfortable. And this is part of the reason why I have to tell you, like, the surface level stuff versus the real stuff. Another example I could give you is dinner dates all the time, flowers and reservations. They will say these things online. That is a lie. That is fiction. Them saying we're the prize. A lot of men believe that stuff. A lot of men believe that women are the prize, and it makes them act a certain way, and their behavior, those actions that they take because they believe women are the prize, because that's what they've been told, repels women, makes them run away. You have to get your logic straight. You have to get your facts straight on what actually works with women. What women actually want, not the fiction, not the stuff that women tell you so they can sound like a good person, because it's a lie. I've been in the seat. I know it actually works. And all of this fiction, all this surface level stuff is garbage. Okay? It's nonsense. You have to rewire and reprogram how you see women and dating. So here are 3 true desires, like genuine desires that women actually want from a man. Number 1 is an element of safety. Now I want you to be very clear and distinct here. I am not saying safety equals nice, gentle, caring, sweet, comfortable. That's not what safety is. Safety is when a woman feels that she is protected with you. When you're around her and when she's talking to you, she feels protected and safe. Now, a big distinction, we're talking about fact versus fiction. A big distinction is, I don't mean you care a lot for her, okay? I don't mean you vocalize things for her. That is completely separate. She should feel safe based on your ability to protect. Now, there's a couple ways this happens. One of the most common ways that a woman will feel safe with you is if she doesn't have to think. Now, you're going to tell me, isn't that misogynistic? Yeah, welcome to reality. Welcome to the brutal truth of being around women for thousands of hours. When they have to think, when they actually have to think about things, make decisions, they don't feel safe, they feel uncomfortable. It's not natural to a woman's natural state is zombie brain dead, in the stars la la land, giving birth. That is their natural state. Their natural state is not decisiveness, making decisions, leading, etc. It's playfulness, it's giddiness, it's lightness. And so we have to make them feel safe and trigger that desire by not letting them think. How do you do that? You make all the decisions. You lead the conversation. You're decisive. You take the conversation to la la land. You do all of these things on the first date, before the first date, on the 15th date. It never goes away, so that they mentally feel safe with you because they know you can lead them and make decisions and be decisive. The second desire is polarity. Now, women are very hilarious creatures, okay? These creatures want to feel safe and dangerous at the same time. They want the total spectrum of emotions possible. And they want to feel them all, okay? They want to feel them all. If there's only one or if there's none, they will not be addicted to you. They will not want you. They will not desire you. Women desire the man that gives them the full spectrum of emotions, the complete polarity of how they can feel as a woman, as a human being. So it's happy, it's sad, it's anxious, intense, it's loving and sweet and caring. How do you do this? You push and pull. You do this with the things you say, and you do this with your behavior, okay? So, for example, a really great example of this that I do with women all the time is how I treat them in person and via communication of texting is I push and pull, and I do what's called playful dominance. This gives them a wide variety of emotion, without much effort on my end because I've just been doing this for such a long time. And the best example of this is playfully putting them down, being a little bit stern with them in a funny way, because that's polarity. Like if I'm putting her down but making her laugh, I'm hitting big ends of the spectrum, like super big ends of the spectrum, insane ones. Think about it. She feels the high of laughing, but she feels the low of being humbled. And I do that at the same time. To give you an example of how I do this, if I'm on a date with a girl, I might tease her about something that she just said, but in a playful way, right? It's playful dominance. Or I might disagree with her in a playful way. That's another really powerful one, because it also shows you're big, you're bold, you have courage to disagree with them, but you're making her laugh at the same time. All of the I'm hitting so many emotions that she genuinely desires in one conversation. That's addicting. That is an emotional high of polarity that women love. It's the masculine, it's the feminine, it's the yin and the yang. To go a step deeper and give you an example, let's say we're having a conversation about food. She says she hates Gouda, the cheese. I love Gouda cheese. Trader Joe's is the best one. Go check it out. And she's like, no, I hate Gouda, for whatever reason. And I'm like, you have terrible taste in cheese. Funny. She would laugh at that. With the right tonality, me telling her, your cheese taste sucks, okay? Gouda is really good. And you might think you know what good cheese is, but you don't know how good cheese actually is. You have the taste buds of a 2-year-old, okay? Playfully roasting her, playfully disagreeing, playfully bantering with her. She's going to laugh, but in the back of her mind, she's also going to say, shit, he's going to tell me how it is. He's not afraid to voice his mind. Polarity. Assertive dominance all the way down to giddiness and laughing and joking around. That's polarity. That's how you strike that chord. The third desire, and don't worry, there's much more to this video, but the third desire is emotional triggers. And so there's tons of them, and there's tons of ways to hit them. One of the really strong ones is knowing that she is replaceable to you. So you have to do and increase your perceived value so that she feels that emotional trigger. A woman that you're seeing should feel the emotional trigger, the fear response basically, of being replaced. That is how she will be on her best behavior. If she doesn't feel that emotional trigger, then why would she try? Why would she care? Why would she ever think to consider that she should behave better, that she should try harder? You're going to end up with a girl that knows you can't do better than her. She's going to lose interest. That is one example of a very strong emotional trigger a woman should feel when you're dating her. She should 100% feel through your perceived value that she's replaceable. How do you do that? You're always busy. You're not putting that much effort into communication. You're seeing her once in a while. You're not throwing out tons of validation and compliments, right? These are little triggers and little things that strike the emotional trigger in her mind that shit, I feel like I could be replaced. I feel like he is busy. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to chase him more. Another really good emotional trigger is the power of social proof. And so you don't need to go hire models to get tons of pictures, but women love the emotional trigger of knowing that he is desired by other women, that you are desired by other women. And so how do you do that without going to the great lengths and hiring hookers? You get a little bit more mysterious and unreadable with your lifestyle, with your activities. Let it be assumed you're with other women, right? If you ask her out to coffee, for example, 3 days later, she asks you what you're doing. You say, I'm going to coffee. Boom, boom, boom. She's triggered in her mind. Shit, he's probably on another date. That's how you show social proof without going to great lengths. If you obviously are photographed and with women, have it be known in subtle ways. They genuinely like that. If you want to learn more about how to trigger those 3 desires, click the links below. One is an application to my coaching. It's a one-on-one mentorship program. And if you can't afford that, or if you don't want to invest that, there's a link below to a fantastic guide called the Unreadable Man Protocol. Check those out. Here are some behavior that turn women on and off. And again, fact versus fiction, this won't make any sense, and this will sound insane if you're new to the game. But if you've been on hundreds of dates like I have, you know this is the actual truth, the truth they don't want you knowing. Because when you truly know women, when you truly expose them, they'll attack you, they'll get mad, their brain combusts, because it's the only card up their sleeve towards power and influence and getting what they want is being able to deceive and being able to hide their true nature. Okay? That's why they get all mad. And so a lot of them, when they see their content, they hate me. Because I'm revealing the ace up their sleeve. Anywho, I digress. Behaviors that turn women on and off. Validation turns women off to an insane degree. Because women want to be with a man that is masculine and dominating. A masculine dominating man is better than her. And if you're better than her by nature, why are you feeling the need to compliment her? Why are you feeling the need to validate her? It's a sign that you are fearful. You're showing that you're afraid of losing her, so you're going to compliment her. That's how they perceive it. Don't compliment women, okay? If you feel like doing it, do it very nonchalant and about something that doesn't matter. Like maybe their shoes, or maybe their nails, or maybe something of the kind. Okay, not you're so beautiful and gushing over them. That's repulsive and disgusting. You also never want to be apologetic with women, ever. And so a lot of guys get nervous and insecure and they'll start apologizing for random things. Random things. It's a fear response. Okay, this is repulsive behavior to women. They want a man that stands 10 toes. Masculinity and apologizing do not go hand in hand. It's an emotional behavior. I'm so sorry. You're pleading with her. I don't care how you do it. It's a form of pleading. It's a form of being feminine. And all of these things don't attract women. Another behavior that turns them off is caring a lot, showing a lot of care, because that is emotional and that is feminine. There can only be one person that's emotional between a man and a woman. It has to be the woman. Okay? It can't be you, right? You want to go vent, go to your mother. Right? When you are showing emotion through caring, that leads them to be disgusted because they want a masculine man in every sense of the way, no matter how toxic or unhealthy, etc. You're only told they're toxic, but truth be told, it's actually not toxic. It's actually healthy. Do not show you care. Now, over time, I obviously have raised my standard with women. And over time, I've gotten really good at filtering out and vetting women very early on. Because the last thing you want to do is spend your time, energy, resources, money, etc. going on dates, pursuing women, investing into women that suck, right? Obviously, you want to save your time, you want to save your money, you want to save your energy. So over time, I've gotten really good at identifying patterns within women to filter and vet them out. And so here are some things that I look for now as a guy with a lot of abundance who doesn't want to waste his time at all. I look at their expectations of a first date. I analyze them pretty closely. If I meet them online, specifically if I meet them online, I'm looking at their prompts and seeing are they demanding things already. If they're demanding anything, I don't talk to them. I don't pursue them. I don't care if it's as small as dinner, which is not that small actually, but like if they're demanding any date or flowers or shopping, anything of the kind, I never speak to them. Unmatched, don't talk to them. Or if I meet them in person and they're like, we're going to take me on our first date or plan a date, or what restaurant are we going to go to? Any verbiage around telling me how to be a man, I filter them out immediately. Immediately, I never talk to them again. I don't care how good of a vibe we have. If she insinuates any sort of behavior of telling me how to be a man and how to take her out and spend my money and time on her, you're out of your fucking mind. Goodbye. They're gone. If she's a big party girl, because I don't party a lot, and I see on her Instagram, she's going out, she's doing things. I'm assuming other men are there, they're paying for it. I'm not into that. I'm not attracted to that. I also look at how she makes her money. How does she survive in the world? Does she come from a wealthy family? Does she work here? Or is it kind of conspicuous? And is it kind of like, I can't figure out how she does nice things. She's hoeing, okay? She is hoeing. 1% of the time they come from a rich family, maybe less. So if they're doing nice things and you know that she doesn't have a legitimate job, it's from other men. Just plain and simple. Vet it out. If she ever reschedules, ever doesn't make herself easily and readily available within 1 week, but more like 3 days of us connecting and me getting her number without any extremely valid reason, I'm not talking to her again. She's not a serious person. She can't be relied upon. If we're talking, I'm speaking to you to escalate forward for plans. I don't care to text you all day. I don't care to be a pen pal. Okay? We get a little banter. I spike your emotions. We're making plans. If we're not, if you're rescheduling, if you ghost, if you make it hard, I'm out. Immediately, I am out. Okay? I'm moving on to women that actually know how to show genuine interest. Now, these are some things that women will never admit to you. Okay? These are some things they'll never admit to you. This is the hard truth. Most women sleep on the first date with the guy they like. Most women do, which is crazy to admit and it's crazy to hear. But 90% plus of women, when they go on a first date and it's successful, they will go home with the guy. They won't give a fuck, okay? They only make rules for people that they don't really like. They will go home with men on the first date more often than not. They're also going on more first dates than you want to believe. They're also demanding things of men that don't put demands on them. Because women will behave based on what men allow. We are in charge, not them. They know it. They just try to masquerade it. But the guys that actually know it don't tolerate none of this shit. And yes, a lot of the things I said in this video, they're very hard to swallow. And they're not something any man really wants to hear. Because it's much easier to believe the fiction and to not actually get good at the real game. But this is reality, okay? This is hundreds of dates later. I've spent tens of thousands of hours with women. This is the brutal, honest truth. And if you want to become a 1% man with women, check out the links below, like I told you, and I'll see you inside.